What's going on, everybody? We are back here at the scenic, tropical Webb's Water Garden Warehouse. We just cut down the palm trees because they were giving us too much shade and good vibes. We went with this nice industrial look for you. Hope you enjoy it. But behind me, somewhere, are chemical treatments. And that's what we're talking about today. We have Joe, who is the leading expert here at Webb's on all technical questions, and we decided that we were going to start diving into some pretty common questions, some common topics, so that, you know, this information was out there for the internet to just freely grab rather than having to always call Joe, which, by the way, he's available.
I'm here.
Yeah, boom, look, I found him. He was just sitting at his desk. I just ruined his whole day, brought him out here. Gonna ask him some questions. Today we're talking about chemicals and chemical treatments. Let's start off with, what are some chemical treatments and what would they be used for?
Sure. It's not always necessary to use them, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
A few, chemical aldehydes a lot of consumers use. Flocculants, for example, are just a few.
Which is probably the nicest and most fun mouthfeel of any word in this job.
It does roll.
Flocculants.
Yeah.
Flocculants. What is a flocculant?
It's basically a chemical that coagulates a lot of the free-floating particulates in the pond, that cloud. Kind of clump it together, and then it gets too heavy and they sink, and then, if you have a vacuum or filtration, it's easy to remove at that point.
It's super kind of gross and fun and weird.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's a neat one. It's like putting fiber into a water glass.
Almost.
In a way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so let's jump into some of the questions that relate to that. One that comes to mind is UV clarifiers. Beneficial bacteria has a weird reaction. You have to make sure you don't kind of kill the thing you're using to try to clean the pond with the thing you used to clean the pond in the first place. Talk to me about UV clarifiers and chemical treatments.
You can keep them on, unless you're using, say, a fish medication. You want to turn those off.
Why?
It'll basically destroy that fish medication.
Okay.
So you want to turn off UVs in that regards. If you're using, the vast majority of other chemical treatments, you want to remove chemical filtration if you have it. That would be like your carbon, your charcoal. Those are chemical filtrations that absorb those treatments. So,
okay, let's say you're kind of new to this, or you just got a new pond, or a lot of people buy houses, they have ponds.
Yeah.
The carbon, where would somebody find that inside of their mechanical system? Like, how do you see if you even have it?
Yeah, sometimes you'll see carbon impregnated filter pads. Those are black. You'll find those in submersible filters or gravity fed. Those are basically just pads. Or sometimes you might even have just a bag of carbon. You'll find those generally in the upper end of the waterfall, sometimes in the skimmer, but usually in the upper end there needs to be a constant flow, so it's usually around movement.
Got you. And I'm just going to say this, and then I got kind of one more question here. Please do not eyeball your chemical treatments. It's not going to work out well. We have our own line of chemical treatments, so we know very well that a lot of work goes into that information on the back.
Right.
If you think that you can wing it, or you can even treat one chemical treatment, one flocculant, for example, like every other flocculant, it's just, they're not all made by the same manufacturers. They're not all made equally. They're supposed to be a little bit particular. So pay attention to that.
Yeah, always, and I can't stress this enough, just read the directions on the label.
Yeah, this isn't IKEA.
To a T, always follow directions. And if you're using chemicals, stand by the pond when you're using them.
Yeah.
Just in case your fish act abnormally, you can catch anything early.
And we're not saying that you have to, do just that all day. Like, you could do things around your pond. Maybe let's say you have a couple things you're going to do in that area of your yard. Chemical treatments, then get started with your other chores so that you can constantly bounce back.
Yeah.
Stay in the region, stay in the area, stay vigilant.
Yeah.
So how long should you, be on watch, per se?
You'll catch things pretty quick. 15 minutes.
All right. Yeah, so it's not a huge part of your day. You don't have to cancel any plans.
No.
Now, let's say just a blanket question. Chemical treatments, how do you apply them and where do you apply them?
Yeah. For the most part, you're going to add them to the area of the pond with high circulation. Base of the waterfall, add it near the pump so it basically distributes it evenly. eliminating any chemical hotspots. If you go in one location and dump that whole treatment in that one location, it's going to take much longer for it to spread. And the fish happen to swim into that area, that's when you're going to see something bad.
Yeah, we want to have this thing equally dispersed throughout the pond in the most efficient way we can.
Yeah.
Here's just a random scenario. You know, keep this in mind. Let's say you're having a couple different problems all at once and you're not having the best circulation on the day that you need to put the chemicals in. Move them around and disperse them manually as best as you can at the worst case scenario. Just don't ever assume that one giant blob of a chemical is going to be acceptable. It always has to move around.
You can mix it in a bucket of pond water and then just pour it around the perimeter.
Perfect, yeah. Get a big Home Depot bucket or what have you, mix it up, and then just walk around. And then also, you know, just never assume that it's dispersed so well that you don't need to give your time and attention to watching it either.
Yeah.
So that is chemical treatments. If you guys have any questions, especially on this topic, I mean, we cover a lot of things in the Q&A, but chemical treatments can be necessary, but they can also be a little bit temperamental and something that scares a lot of folks. So don't hesitate to call with any question, no stupid question when it comes to chemical treatments, and you can reach us right here at Webs Online. Until next time, take care and enjoy your pond.